Galactic Soul, the Honorable Brother, the Revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
I did not want to unclick. Well, welcome to Powerbombshells 195. I'm Sam, and that's Mel. And wait, what's happening? Why won't it unclick? It does not want to come down.
I hope you guys don't have to look at this the entire time. Okay, we're trying to go through the World's End card because we even have fancy pictures and everything, except for...
Why did it do that to us? Oh my gosh, it's totally stuck. That is so
Not
weird.
Even Mercury retrograde. What is happening?
Let's see if we delete it, if it'll go away. This is so weird. Why is
apparently they don't want you to see our Brody Lee shirts that we're wearing.
What's happening
today?
Right now? This is so bizarre.
What in the world?
Okay, this is really freaking me out because
this is welcome to live stream.
It happened. We did it!
Yay!
We really are here. We're on the wrong side. What is happening?
I don't know, but you guys we were right the first time.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I always do that, guys.
I know, do that. You flipped it before the show started.
What is happening? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hey, we're really here. It's really episode 195 of Powerbombshells. It may be frozen. Actually, you know what? It might be our internet, and that wouldn't even be a joke because we got hit with the ice storm that has been making the news across the place. So was it like 80 degrees where you were on Christmas?
Yes, so Christmas Day, it was 79 degrees, which is the hottest Christmas on record, which, you know. And so the part of the time that it like reached 79 degrees on Christmas, I was inside watching White Christmas with my mom and my sister, and then like preparing for getting my collision preview ready. So I was not really outside. Yesterday, we had a 21 degree drop, and it was like 58 degrees yesterday and windy and chilly. And then today it is 70. It's supposed to be 75 again today. And then tomorrow it's dropping back down into the 50s. And then the rest of the week it's supposed to be like working its way down to being, you know.
So we have, and I'm going to even use a pun here, the polar opposite.
Yeah.
It iced over. We got, and I mean, we were lucky because they were warning us that we could get more. But it is outside. It looks like it's so frozen. It's like all the individual blades of grass frosted over. And like the trees are just covered in ice. So they look like ice skeletons, which I think it's pretty. But then it dusted snow overnight. So it's like slippery, cold, but it's really pretty. But it's like stay in your houses, folks. Like do not drive. It's just not worth it. There were so many problems on our freeways and state routes yesterday. It was just like, if you don't have to go out, can you not?
Yeah, of course, like yesterday when it was not warm like it was the day before, we went to lunch with our dad, we went to run some errands and things like that. And I was like, not on the day that it was 80 degrees. And then of course today it's warmer and I'll be podcasting, and then I will have a little gap. I was outside in my garden this morning, and then and then I did go to my garden to see. Apparently my parsley is thriving even when we've had like really cold weather, and my rosemary's doing okay. My marshmallow plant it was like losing all of its leaves. The roots are good, which is the main thing. But I saw there was new growth on it today. So I think the weather's just confusing my plants. And
as a longtime northerner, Sam, I have to tell you this, is I'm sitting here in like wonder of you growing plants in the middle or in late
I planted the parsley and the rosemary in the spring and have not done anything with. I mean, I've used it obviously, like
grows. Like
I didn't know. I was like, is parsley like a hardy plant? Because
yes.
How is it still growing when like a few weeks ago, like it was like below freezing, and parsley is like, there are a few that I had to pull off because they were dying, but the rest of them, like, there's fresh ones growing out there, and I was like, okay,
because northern Italy is where a lot of them come from, because
that makes
my
sense.
family that's one of the main, that's why oregano, basil, the things like the main herbs that you get in Italian cooking, obviously olives, such things, like, because that's what we like in North Italy, that's they grew the most of. So, and when it gets kind of chilly there, because you've got like the Alps and you've got the Germans, I mean, it's just like here in North America. I mean, holy crap, there's weather over there too. It's crazy. But yeah, when it's nice, that's why tomatoes, when you plant them and they come in good, they come in sometimes in the summer times, but my grandpa used to plant them just a little later, because September, because you could get them, and then he froze his. I can mine when I do them, because my mother-in-law taught me how to can, which is like, I love it.
Yeah, my mom wants to learn how to can.
I over Google Meets during COVID.
Yeah,
I even have like the instruction manuals and stuff. So if you guys ever want to learn, it's super.
Oh no, we
easy.
probably will. I probably will hit you up for that. I do.
That's fun.
I saw this comment before we came on air, and then before our screen got stuck. That Crash said it's he wished us a happy International Pickle Appreciation Month to all the pickle bombers out there. Listen, it is the Pickle Appreciation Month 365 days a year. But
I think Powerbombshells Pickle Appreciation after last week, especially.
But I am excited that
I ate my mini kosher dills this year and thought of you.
Oh,
in the nicest, most awesome way possible, not in an inappropriate way. Freeze.
I appreciate that. Thank you for letting us know it was Pickle Appreciation Month. And yes, Nikki was talking about she also she was late to the chat because she was fixing her lunch, but she also is wearing a Brody Lee shirt because yesterday made 5 years since he passed away, which I can't believe it's been 5 years. And Amanda Huber has been, well, other people were sharing some nice memories, but Amanda Huber was sharing some really nice memories. And last night she finally watched the tribute show that AEW did for them for Brody. She said she'd never watched it before.
I guess that.
She watched it last night. She tweeted some thoughts about it. So definitely go check that out if you are still on that website, because she had some cool thoughts over there. And so always it's Saturday, and you know what that means. So
I was reflecting about it, because this is a really tough time of year for people, and with that, and it happened like right after Christmas, which it's such a gut punch. And I know, having because I lost my dad fairly young, and it was just like, I thought a lot about them, and I've thought about her, and I'm like, look how good of a job. Like, Amanda Huber is probably one of the strongest, most awesomest voices in wrestling today. Yeah. She's a lady. She does so much with the charity side of AEW. Those kids, good on her. It's hard. It's hard to raise children anyway. And then, and I just, he was awesome. I love thinking about him. I am glad that they did an awesome tribute show. I'm glad she felt like she could do that this year. That's a really big step. And I'm
right. Oh, for sure.
I mean, she's one of my favorite people, because that's a terrible thing to have to live with. And then, she's really killing it out there. And I know that is tough. It's got to be tough. And also, this company is so different. It reminds me how different AEW is, because they're still involved in the company. Those kids are still going to hear stories about their dad, from all his friends. I mean, -1's freaking wrestling now. It's
he has obviously I follow Amanda on Instagram, but she's also Brody has one now, and it's all of his training. And so she's also always posting stuff of him training. Natty posts it because he is training at the Dungeon 2.0 with Natty and TJ, and a lot of the crew down there with them. And so it's great to see how well they're thriving. And, Natty posted yesterday about how, obviously, being around them all the time and getting to see them every week, she knows that grief comes in waves and things like that. And she's just talking about, how much, the three of them, everything they've been through, and how they just face every day and just move forward, which is all you can do. And so I'm glad that they have a really, really strong support system around them, which is incredible. And that we can still, and that they still share memories and, things like that of Brody Lee, for a lot of us who were fans of his, for even, as Luke Harper and things like that, and then seeing him here. And so I'm glad that that AEW and other people, the people who knew him, are keeping his memory alive by talking about him all the time. Like, not just obviously in the harder times, because like December, because Amanda has talked about it before. So like in December, was his birthday, their wedding anniversary, him being sick, and Christmas, then his
and
death.
everything.
And so a lot of it, like she's talking about how, like she starts decorating for Christmas like November the 1st, like all that stuff. Yeah, I saw this yesterday because she's talked before about how Cody Rhodes and Big E were like huge supports during the time that Brody was in the hospital. And she's talked before about how Cody drove 6 hours the day after Christmas so that they could tell Brody Jr. what was happening and that it was the end. But I didn't know. Yesterday, she shared that Cody took Brody Jr. to fly kites while she was telling her husband goodbye. And she posted a picture of the two of them flying kites. And so Nikki was saying that she had stopped thinking about how Cody took Brody Jr. to fly kites while Brody passed. It's so sweet and sad. I'm glad Cody did that for the family. And so, like, sharing these incredible, these very private moments, but also showing this group of people who have taken them in and are these great influences on her boys, and still give them, guidance. And how I know she talks about Big E a lot, about how close he's been to their family and things like that. And so just to see her, to have them share that moment, with that, even though, Cody is obviously in a different company now, he's still very present in all three of their lives. And they go out of their way to, and she said that Cody said, like, I'm always going to be there for your family. And she's like, he has been, like, he's never once wavered in his support of them, which is really wonderful to see.
It's bigger than corporate BS. This is a human.
Yeah.
And
right.
The community is awesome. And I'm so like, it brings me joy because I know, and I have empathy for that.
Yeah.
It's just, they don't understand sometimes probably how special that is when you need that.
Right.
When you need to know what my dad would have thought about something. That's like having access to that is something that is invaluable. Like, it's just amazing. And they have all my respect, and because of that. And I think it's a great example for people who are struggling with that to look over and go, this is a great way to handle this.
Right.
I mean, it can be done.
Yeah. And I know that her and that she and the kids are really involved in a foundation that's for kids who are struggling with parent loss and grief and things like that. And she's been able to bring that organization into AEW and kind of do some things with them, and like I believe in the past she's brought in some of the kids and have had them like come to shows and things like that. So it's, a really,
I think she has a scholarship foundation for kids that lose their kids. It's for kids who have lost their parents young, and it's for them to go do the things that they should have been able or could have been able to do, maybe if they hadn't lost a parent for whatever reason, whether there wasn't enough insurance or there was no insurance. I mean, insurance is impossibly expensive. So most people don't have as much access as they should. And so and I think that's really, really cool. When I heard that they were doing that, I was like, that's what you're supposed to do with stuff. That's the best way. You can turn that into something really ugly or really sad, or you can try and get through the day with that. And that's a better way to do it.
Right.
In my opinion, that's just, and I love that. I like seeing other people do it because it gives me strength too.
For sure.
Like, oh, look at those people. They're doing the same thing.
Right.
Like, hey, Sam, I don't have to tell you. life's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
Be a real
really
dick
sometimes.
Be a real dick sometimes.
It can be. All right.
But
So
anyway,
we're gonna switch gears, but before we get into this World's End card and help you get hyped for this pay-per-view, got to go back to the thing from Crash. So Crash said that to pickle me softly, and then he said on a side note, his remix of Roberta Flack went down as a riot at Christmas karaoke. He'll have us know. And then he put the lyrics that he changed in the comments here, and I'm not even gonna attempt.
Oh, that's hilarious!
For those of you,
I'm totally
if you're
into
listening,
that.
I don't know if you happen to be watching this on a replay. Crash changed some of the lyrics to "Killing Me Softly" to
That's
"Tickling Me
beautiful.
Softly" with her sauce, which is great, and something we really appreciate here. And
See, I did Monday karaoke because Monday karaoke is a normal thing here around the town here for our local. And that is so funny because everyone was doing like serious songs, and then Mel showed up and immediately sang Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, which has my name in it. Yeah. Yep, go listen back. It's hilarious. I always remember, no one remembers, and then I sing the lyric and the whole place pops because it's a bunch of my friends and a bunch of nerds. And but I have to say it because it used to be a party trick that I used to do. You guys will get a kick out of this. And I used to do it for just friends and family, is that I can sing "Oh Holy Night" in Cartman's voice.
Oh, fantastic.
And weeks ago, I told one of my karaoke friends this, and he's like, "You're doing that at Christmas." And I'm like, whatever, if you remember, maybe, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, of course he remembered, because it was like a 5-year-old that had been told they were going to get to use the parachute.
Of course.
At the end. And he's like, "You're doing Cartman tonight, right?" So I put on my big girl pants, and I put on the funny voice, and everybody had a blast. So.
Well, I'm glad that you delivered them some Christmas cheer.
Including to the karaoke, our DJ Glitch there, our good friend who's the regular karaoke, he was like, "Thank you for doing that. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Fantastic. Well,
it was fun to do for friends. That's why I do that silly
right.
Do it for friends. Yes. It's like, and it's so much fun. And so I also, I sing all the parody songs. That used to be my thing at Christmas. I used to rip CDs for the friends, and they were called Mel's Christmas Extravaganza. And they were I would scour the internets for parodies. Like the restroom door said "Gentlemen walking around in women's underwear." Bob Rivers. Bob Rivers is a trove, rest his soul, is a trove of Christmas parody songs.
Oh, I bet.
He's the guy who did the 12 Days of Christmas that are funny.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing at Christmas, it's such a pain to me, is finding a Christmas tree. You know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
He made 2 records, I believe.
Oh, okay.
You're like, dang, Mel, you know a lot about parodies. Well, and to that, I killed so we did Christmas trivia at the bar, at the pub, and I know an embarrassing amount about Christmas carols. I won that round.
I was about to say, if they have trivia, then you'll be good to go.
Oh man, I know. I did not realize how embarrassingly much about Christmas carols I actually knew. It shocked me. I shocked myself. Which, I mean, it's not that hard, but, So, right there with you, Crash. We both killed it on karaoke night.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right.
Every day here.
All right. Let's get into this card.
Let's get into the card. I invited
you
in.
I checked the AEW Twitter right before we went on to see if any other 0-hour matches had been announced. And it looks like so far it is just the one match. Oh wait, nope.
No,
that's a lie.
Do it.
I just refreshed and we have a new 11 minutes ago. We got a new match.
I knew it. I knew it, Tony. I am coming for you one of these days.
Yeah, I was like,
you'll never come to
having there. I was like, there's no way we're having one 0-hour match.
He did it. He got it to
so
11.
I am behind on the last 2 weeks of ROH. However, I do know, well, actually, this does go back to the collision in Manchester. So on that episode, Eddie Kingston wrestled Nathan Cruz, who was previously, I believe it was the Progress champion, not Rev Pro, I believe it was Progress. He works backstage for AEW. And GYB was out there before the match started. They tried like pulling Eddie off the apron. They beat him up a little bit. They got involved in the match. So on this week's episode of ROH that aired yesterday on Boxing Day, Eddie wrestled James Fake. And then today, it was just announced that he will be wrestling Zach Gibson, who is the other half of GYV. So GYV has been a thorn in Kingston's side since Manchester after defeating Drake on ROH and subsequent beatdown by both men. Eddie will go one-on-one with Gibson tonight before World's End. So that is one of them.
Eddie Kingston versus
Zach Gibson.
Zach Gibson.
Yes. So that will be on 0 Hour as of
Damn you, Tony Khan.
As of 12 minutes ago. I'm sure at least one more will get announced, and then he'll do like a random unannounced fourth one that'll probably be something from Ring of Honor or
from now on, Sam, when he
like,
comes in under 12, I'm gonna put 2 placeholder funny memes or something in there.
Yes.
Like at the very beginning, where it's like, because he does this to me every time. Believe me, before showtime or right after we're on air.
When there are live collisions that are not pre-taped, sometimes he waits the last minute to announce matches, like usually when my preview's already been posted, or there will be unannounced matches. Like I'll be getting my car, like getting things around. I'm like, this was not announced. Where did this match come from? Tony likes to do that too, so.
He is totally out to get us because that is completely rational.
Yes, I agree. Nikki said, use more GYV. He is partially listening to me. He forgot to use less FTR.
Yeah, he missed that second part.
He missed really that second part, but hey, we're getting there. More GYV. Yes,
you know what's weird too is we were sitting watching GYV and realizing how much we've seen a bunch of those guys actually wrestle.
So good. And
I was like, well, that's because, and it was like, he wrestled where Sam was, and it was like, yep. Yeah. Good for them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm glad that they're on the card. All right. So let's try this again, Tony.
Okay. So this match, actually, we did know ahead of time, was happening on 0 Hour. Sisters of Sin will be taking on Maya World and Hyan. As we all pretty much know the story with Maya World and Hyan. They showed up to work and got last minute when certain people decided they didn't want to be professionals and walked out of their
that's right. Yep.
job audition, essentially.
I remember now.
Hyan and Maya stepped up just before the show went on air and have been rewarded by being able to come back. And they've been in ROH. They had a match with Babes of Wrath, and now they are getting a 0 Hour match against the Sisters of Sin. So good for them. And I think this is pretty obvious who will win this match, but I'm glad to see more women's matches. And obviously Maya World I've been a fan of hers for a while. I've talked about her before. She's Athena's protege. I've seen her in Ashe a few times. So I really like her. And I just saw that she won the Firestarter Pro championship last night. They are based out of Greensboro, North Carolina, and she won their women's title last night. So shout out to Maya. Congratulations on your win. I know that you are busy. You're doing more AEW dates, but hopefully I'll get to see her in Ashe some more because she's great and I'd like to see her some more.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting paid and they're at least like on the pre-show.
Right, exactly. Crash is well deserved with a dash of trolling from TK. Hey, you know what? Isla Dawn got a match in Wales when somebody else who was from Wales and walked out, and so Isla
Hey.
got that spot. So good for her. Isla, I'd rather see. Personally, I'd like to see Isla more anyway, but
Hey, we all make choices, right?
we do.
All right, what's up next? Go up here and like this. What's next?
All right, this match got
this.
announced last minute on Thursday during Christmas Collision when I was covering it. I was trying to see who was in the graphic and also cover the match that was happening, because they like, as I mentioned last week, they like to make these gigantic graphics that take up half the screen.
They sure do. It's taking up a lot of our screen right now.
Yeah, I was like, yes.
But okay, they like to do that, but then when you go looking for like something to put on your slideshow,
right,
you cannot find a gigantic graphic.
No, you cannot. Yeah, they need to figure that out.
I'm prettier with your
They used to, back when, like, because I have, obviously, as media, I have access to the AEW photos. Back when they used to use this other app, so it's been a couple of years now, but they used to give us graphics for the shows. They used to give us, they were sized for Twitter and for YouTube and I think like one other social media site or Instagram. That's what it was. So we had 3 sizes to choose from, and they had for every single match on pay-per-views. And so I wish that they would go back to that.
Yeah, me too.
Helpful.
I don't understand why you
even
wouldn't
though we do get some of the fancy graphics, but this year they only did for this pay-per-view they did 3 fancy graphics.
Yeah, I was searching and searching. You found a few that I missed. There was one that was an alt one from the main event, but yours was actually cooler than the one I found.
Yeah,
even though the one I found, they look like superheroes.
Today, and then last night, I don't know if you saw it before you had made your slideshow, but last night they posted a really cool one for the women's tag title.
I switched it.
Okay, cool. Well, you guys will get to see it if you didn't see it.
I wasn't going to because I thought it was too last minute, and then I realized I was like, the more I was staring at it, I'm like, it'll take me 2 seconds. So because I like yours better.
So this match is called Mixed Nuts Mayhem, and it came about because Toni Storm was coming for Marina after the things Marina said about Mina that were. She basically, I think she said something along the lines of Marina's the only woman that Mina has given herself to is me. And Toni did not take kindly to that and came in, and Marina beat Mina the night before on Christmas Eve. And so Toni came out basically to get some more revenge on her. Mark Briscoe was in the ring. They shook hands and he kissed her hand. And Roddy's still in the ring because it was after it was a post-match beatdown of Roddy basically by Yuta and Daniel Garcia. And so now Jon Moxley is lucky that he has a match on this card because he clearly fears Toni Storm and did not have to be in this match. So this match is Marina, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Claudio Castagnoli versus Timeless Toni Storm, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong, who swears that he is not in the conglomeration, even though he's included in the conglomeration in this particular graphic, but he swears he's not in it. He
keeps trying to avoid it,
I don't believe there is a stipulation, or at least not that I have heard. I think this is just a match that they're doing because people have been wanting Toni Storm and Jon Moxley, and obviously Jon Moxley is preoccupied. So, yeah. I don't know that there's an actual stipulation. If there is, I completely missed it. Maybe they'll talk about it on maybe
stipulation
Renee.
Is that Toni
maybe Renee and RJ City will talk about it.
Toni finally gets her match with Mox if she wins.
That should be it. Crash says Timeless and Chicken Man equals the AEW power couple. Sorry, Jude. And we have
it's true.
We have someone here. Awesome. Says, my name is Derek. I hope I pronounced that right, even with you spelling it correctly or spelling it out for us. He said he's from Toronto. Pac was originally in the graphic, and now Daniel Garcia is. I want to see a giant swing into a mother's milk. I'm here for that, the latter
Yeah,
part of
let's
that. I
go.
did see that Pac was originally in the graphic. I think it was a mistake. I think it was not supposed to be Pac, and they just put in the wrong person. I mean, maybe Pac was like, I'm not doing this. Maybe Pac also, you know what? I'm going to go with Pac also fears Tony Storm and Claudio. So he made Claudio do it because Pac,
I agree with
that's
that.
the theory I'm going with.
I don't think that they fear anyone but Tony. I think that Tony is the most one. She's not just timeless. She is to be feared.
She is to be feared. And also, speaking of Tony really quickly, if you have not seen it, I saw it come up on YouTube this morning, and then Twitter, it was on AEW on TV's Twitter account. It was just the shortened version. They're doing, because I posted about it on Twitter, they sent out a press release on Blue Sky. They sent out a press release that they're doing a collaboration with White Castle, and you can get a AEW Bacon Brawl meal. And so they were talking in the press release that, it would be Timeless Tony Storm, Powerhouse Hobbs, Big Bill, Darby, and Brodito would be appearing in special content for them. Well, the first piece of content has arrived, and they're all there in the White Castle, but Tony Storm is running drive-through. And I think some of these are real interactions with people who drove up and were ordering, because she would say, oh, we're out of that meal. You want the Bacon Brawl meal. And but it's Timeless Tony. So Timeless Tony was saying Timeless Tony things. And it's 3 minutes, and I highly recommend you taking time to go find that clip, the full clip. Hopefully, and like I said, on social media, they have just a clip of it. It has the direct link to it, but please go to YouTube and watch the entire thing, because we already know Timeless Tony Storm is a treasure, but my goodness, she's so funny.
If we hadn't OD'd on White Castle a few years back, I would definitely think about going back.
We don't have them here.
Oh, we have, that's a big, it's big around here. And we had, I think one of the original ones was in this region somewhere, or in Michigan. I don't know. But the idea is that there are many. And one night, Bob and I were our eyes were bigger than our stomachs, and we got way too many sliders, and we've kind of had no sliders since then. It's been a while. It happens sometimes.
If any of you watching this have a White Castle and you go try this, please report back. Also,
I'm sure I would love it, because it's called a Bacon Brawl, which means it's inevitably a burger with bacon on it, which is basically how we eat them. So,
right.
I mean,
right. And they also said, because this collaboration is running with them. I think it started yesterday, and it goes through January 31st. Hilarious. The press release threw in at the very bottom, with no picture, which I'm very angry about. I would love to see a picture of this. So I forget the exact date. I'll have to go back to what I posted, but it's sometime in January. They are doing a limited edition run of a AEW X White Castle Lucha Libre mask, or Luchador mask.
Okay.
And I need to see what this mask looks like, but they did not include a picture of it. So if any of you in the chat tell us how the bill is. If any of you get the Luchador mask, please, or even if you just see it and don't buy it, please take a picture and please send it to @Powerbombshells on Instagram.
We might have to scout even just seeing it.
Yeah, we're on @Powerbombshells on Instagram and Twitter. We're also on Blue Sky. Please send us the pictures, because I want to know what it looks like.
Oh my gosh, me too. This is like when they had the R2D2 mailboxes. We had them in Seattle. We could potentially set. I mean, I don't know what we have to, if we have to eat anything, but I mean, we could give the food away.
Yeah, you could. Daza said that he went to White Castle in Vegas to try. He took 3 steps in, and the smell drove him right back out.
Yeah, it's so tough, because it depends on what part of the country you're in, and because they're run different. They're franchises, it's just like anything else. So it just depends on where the person's sourcing it and how they're running things and how it's tricky. And we don't eat fast food. We're weirdos. So we
don't eat a ton of fast food, but we don't. If we had one here, I would definitely try it.
It's something that's worth doing if you've never done it. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Crash says that he's saving his brawl with Bacon for halftime mid-card Wrestle Kingdom, so he has enough soakage before he cries buckets for Tano's last ride.
This is a good idea.
That is a very smart idea because we are
Me
just,
too.
like,
I'm gonna have to bring. I'm getting a
9 days
whole
away,
thing
I
of
believe.
tissues. So just gonna be like, okay,
all right. So
here.
I guess who do you think is gonna take this one?
I'm gonna take Toni Storm and her side, the conglomeration.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against Marina and her group. But I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think it's gonna be Timeless Toni Storm and the conglomeration and Roddy, who is in the conglomeration, whether he wants to admit it or not.
I mean, not conglomeration, right? Okay.
Yeah, so we don't know. Also, by the way, we are just going by these.
We're going in no particular
I
order.
assume that the semifinals are going to be on my guess was that they would open with those first 2 matches, that it would be the semifinal matches, and then because obviously 2 of those people are going to have to wrestle again later on the card,
Right.
so I'm assuming these are happening earlier.
Same.
This match, obviously, we all saw coming when you look at the bracket, and I'm not mad about it. A lot of us have been waiting for this match, and so even if it was obvious on how we were getting here, we got here. This has been an incredible C2 just in general.
Yeah, it has.
Shout out to Kevin effing Knight, who I've been talking about for years. We've talked about him on here with watching BOSJ. Shout out to him and to Speedball, who both stepped up.
Like
everybody
destroyed it.
Everybody, even though Roddy just had the 1 win, and it came because Kyle O'Reilly came and told him he believed in him. Is basically what happened. And then he just got the kind of like the quick win over Claudio, which was great. Like, but everything there wasn't. We've talked about this before. Like C2, there's never a bad match. Like at worst, you're gonna have a good match. At best, you're gonna have a match of the year contender. Like,
gosh, this whole tournament has been really great. They are onto something. I want them to keep doing it, keep the non-interference, keep the timing thing. We get so much good wrestling out of the C2. It's silly.
Yeah.
And I know that I was reading your, don't mind me, I get a little chilly. I was reading your the press.
The media call. Yeah.
And at least, I mean, he skirted the question both times, but at least 2 people are like, can we do a ladies one? And he's like, look over here.
Right.
But
yeah,
I think they're
hinting at it
and there because look how good, like how much better, like you said, Speedball and Kevin Knight, people didn't know, we knew, but people didn't know, and now they're really seeing it. And those guys, like, oh my God, against Okada, that win.
Right. Kevin picked up the biggest win of his career, and he looked incredible. I mean, Kevin is, Kevin Knight is fantastic anyway, but Okada just like made him
everything.
Look like
He's
even
the man.
better. Tournament Okada is
he's the best.
Like there's like nobody better. And I know that that name that he's the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. Okada is the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. He's incredible. He steps up, he knows the assignment, and he always makes his opponents look incredible while he himself is he's one of the best. And so I've loved this
match is gonna be stupid.
I think everybody in this tournament comes out better than they did going into it. They all they can definitely bring Mascara Dorada back more often with the CMLL relationship. Mascara Dorada had some really incredible matches. He looked great. Just everybody is better for this competition. And so I can't wait to see what happens once we get out of it. I do hope that we get a women's C2. That is something. And I think it was Lyric made the point of comparing the tag team, the booking of the women's tag tournament compared to the booking of the C2 and the type of matches we got in the tag team tournament compared to the C2, which of course he puts a lot. I mean, he said on the media call, like he starts planning for the C2 in the summer. And then he looks at all the stories that are happening. He looks at injuries at the time, injury possibilities if, should someone get hurt, who steps in? Because luckily, he was saying he's been very fortunate that they've only had 2 injuries that took somebody out last year. Obviously, it was Juice Robinson. This year it was Darby Allin. But I don't know when he started planning the women's tag tournament. Again, I was saying that I had wished that they had waited on the women's tag team tournament, that they had done it in like February or March, so that it wasn't all crammed in before, like with blood and guts shoved in there in between. Sorry, the Mel person is here.
No worries.
Miley is losing it.
Usually it's
maybe she is also angry at the way the tag tournament was booked, but you can see the difference between, and I don't want to say he threw that tournament together. I don't know how long he'd been planning it, but it's very, and I know tag team wrestling obviously is different than singles wrestling, and I get that, but I would like to see in future women's tournaments him give more attention to those tournaments in the way that he gives. If he gave half the attention he gives to the C2 to a women's tournament, we could have a really, really good tournament. So hopefully in the future, maybe when we do our 2026, what do we hope to see?
Yeah.
That will be one of them.
Yes.
Yes. Crush said that I hear correctly on Dynamite. Mascara Dorada has only been wrestling professionally for 4 years. Damn. Yes, I believe so. This version of, because if I'm not mistaken, there was a different Mascara. Wasn't there a different Mascara Dorada before?
I think so.
In CMLL, and then there's this version. That lineage always confuses me. Like, I'll have it.
Yeah,
right,
it's hard
I'll
to follow
everything, and then I can get it confused. But yes, he did say that, which is insane because Mascara Dorada is, yes, that's what I thought. Okay, but there was a previous one, because the Mascara Dorada that was in WWE is not the Mascara Dorada
that we're watching right now.
We're watching now, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yes. So. Yes, but yeah, just 4 years is incredible because he's so good. Look at the caliber of matches he was having and has been having, like even outside of the tournament. Mascara Dorada is so good. I always enjoy him. This Mascara Dorada is only 24.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But
we have years of wonderful wrestling ahead of us.
Yes, definitely.
Stay healthy,
anyway,
folks.
back to this match. We have very likely a last minute match of the year contender, probably. I know I'm putting a lot of weight on this match, but I expect this match to deliver. So I'm gonna put that on that expectation, because you have Kazuchika Okada on one side of the ring, and then you have Konosuke Takeshita, who is having a career year on the other side of the ring. Just his body of work this year has been incredible. He won the G1. He's the IWGP champion. He's gonna be wrestling Yota Tsuji in a week at Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously, Okada will be wrestling Tanahashi in a week in the Tokyo Dome in his final match. So both of these have huge matches. Both of them have huge matches ahead of them. But tonight they have to face each other. And we've got the story, like the friction between the two of them. And Don Callis is trying to keep them together, and it is not working. And so we're finally getting this. And they during the media call the other day, they asked Tony to clarify what the winner of this tournament gets. And so the winner, besides getting as Tony said, the prestige of being a C2 winner, will also get the Continental title. So it will not be it's not the unified title. It is just the Continental title. That's all. That's what they will get. So if Okada wins, he will keep both titles. If he loses, he will just have the other title. He won't have, so it'll be split basically, which they should have never unified them in the first place, but here we are. And he made a really good point that if Takeshita wins, he will be the first wrestler to have won the G1 and the C2 in the same year. Which to me gave it away.
Yeah, same.
I kind of thought, my whole feeling from this was Takeshita was going to win this. I think Takeshita is winning the whole thing. But But that, when he said that, I was like, and so Nikki said the same thing because she was reading through my thread and she was like, so Takeshita's winning. And I was like, that was my exact thought.
It's so funny because I've been staring at this and I made the thing and I like heard a couple and I was like, duh. It's just like, it's so duh to me, even though there's part of me who thinks that because these two are so awesome is they could like literally destroy each other.
Yes, they could.
Which, I mean, the match is going to be dumb good. Like,
right.
They're just going to try and kill each other essentially in the greatest way possible. But yeah, it really kind of screams Takeshita, especially with where he's at and who I think might win the other match. And so that would create now that, because I'm sitting here thinking about it and I'm like going around in my head and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a stupid good match, but I think Takeshita probably takes this one. But you know what? We have been like, our percentage the last few shows has been wildly off.
This is true. I mean, but I think here.
No, I think in this case.
I think that in this case it is Takeshita.
I mean, really, this is another one of those times where we're all the winner.
Right. Oh, for sure.
So thank you for this match, Tony. I don't know what else to say. I popped this when I was like doing this, when I was doing the thing. I was just like, I kind of stared at this graphic for a little too long. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazeballs.
Now we have neighbors walking up the street because it's warm today.
Okay. It's for
so
one time.
Now Miley is barking at the neighbors because it's warm today, and
it's actually working out because usually it's my house that has the crazy stuff going on. So for one time in 3 years or something, when in 195 episodes, your side is getting a little noisy for once. So
I mean, she can get noisy sometimes, but we usually try to.
Plus, I think she agrees with us. She was just rooting for Takeshita, I think.
Yeah, obviously. That's got to be it.
And Okada, because we all know we win. All right, what's the next thing? Speaking of which.
Yes.
I realized that I put them on probably the right colored background with Moxley in this match.
Yes. Even though this planet in the background back here looks like a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, it was weird. I just liked it. I was gonna like go on with some of the other ones because I picked this theme because it was world stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought
it's a great theme. I was
like, oh, it's a red planet and John Moxley's in the match, so maybe it'll be appropriate because he always finds a way
to bleed.
And that's 3-1 Atlas in the background for those of you who are following that. Or 3-I Atlas. I'm sorry. If anyone knows what that means, I'm not going to elaborate. I like calling. I'm a space nerd. But anyway.
So our second semifinal match of the C2 is Kyle Fletcher versus John Moxley. A little bit of a surprise to see John Moxley make it here, considering his mindset going into this. On the one hand, like, I think him losing every single match and just crashing out would have been a ton of fun to watch. But I understand, clearly we know what they're doing here. we all know where this is eventually going to lead to. It may take some time, but John Moxley's days with Death Riders are probably dwindling. He's been endearing himself to the fans a lot more, so there's probably going to be a character change coming.
Face marks.
Yes. And Kyle Fletcher, even though he's no longer the TNT champion, he is still having incredible matches. Like, I was looking at some of the honorable mentions matches I had from the C2, and Kyle Fletcher was in 3 of them. Like, Kyle is still having these really, really incredible matches. And I still think Kyle Fletcher will be world champion within the next 18 to 24 months, maybe a little less than that, somewhere in there. Kyle Fletcher he's really good. He's had a huge, I mean, like, we already knew he was good coming into this year, but he's really taken his career a step further this year, and I think he's going to take us a step further. I think he's going to beat John Moxley. And I think our finale is going to be Kyle Fletcher versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I think we're going to do Don Callis versus Don Callis.
Okay. and I'm with your theory, and it's probably right, but my alternate theory, because Jon Moxley has largely been considered the ace of New Japan,
No, it's hard not to say that.
of AEW, and he is changing things around, and so what for. Wouldn't it be interesting if Takeshita were to take that match and then beat the ace of AEW?
Which
also?
You are also probably correct. Like, I can see that's probably where they're going, especially if we're getting babyface. But
because we've had
I just want Don Callis family versus Don Callis family.
Oh no, I want that too, and I think that is coming, and it could certainly be coming in this. I mean, it's great that the possibilities are out there of both. I was just like I was
You're
saying,
probably right.
Who I thought who might win as I was looking at it. There is an argument. There is a, the two paths we could tread, because there's a good story in Moxley winning and Takeshita beating Moxley.
Which, and I wasn't thinking of it as the AEW.
Just because Mox has been such an anchor
probably right. It's probably more correct than Don Callis family versus Don Callis family, because I kind of thought maybe that's where we were going, because we're gonna get. I don't know how much longer Takeshita is gonna be in the Don Callis family, so I don't know. I don't know how much longer Okada before. I mean, it may be a little bit before Okada rejoins the Elite, especially because the Young Bucks said this week that they can't compete through the rest of the year, even though I think that is their way of taking the holidays.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't think maybe it is a legit injury. Maybe they're legit.
Because you can have Mox show up.
I don't think that they are. I think that they want a time off to be with their families, because Absolutely. They have said, like last year, there was the whole big thing of they only work so many matches per year. And this year they did quite a few matches. So I don't know if that's them just getting out of being on TV. Sure, they could show up tonight. But you also had Kenny Omega, who left that promo by saying that he has some stuff that he has to take care of on his own, that he probably should have already done. So I don't know if he's referring to the Don Callis family, because that's who he's already been feuding with, or Gabe Kidd is also on this card. Is he talking about Gabe Kidd? Is he talking about something else? So it'll be interesting. Is it Okada? What is he talking about? So I think there's obviously World's End is going to be obviously ending stories from this year, but it's going to set up stuff for the first next year, the first few months, because our next pay-per-view is not until March 15th. We don't have, that's when Revolution is. We've got obviously the really big Grand Slam in Australia is in February, but the actual next pay-per-view is Revolution. So we've got 3 months to build some stories here. Obviously some of it will be piggybacking off of whatever happens tonight, and then probably obviously new stories, because you've got Maximum Carnage coming up, because Bandito, he won the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and he is going to get a future. He's getting at Maximum Carnage. He's getting a title shot, men's world title shot for whoever wins the title tonight. So you have that coming up. But I mean, as far as a pay-per-view goes, we're not going to have a pre-show until March.
Dang. Now, Moxley could even go so far, because it's Tana's retirement. After if Takeshita kicks his ass, he shows up in New Japan, pops those fans, says bye to Tana, creates havoc with Taka, because he can. Because, I mean, we all know, just like us, that the Japanese fans love them some Mox. And that, if he was ever going to make like a surprise comeback right now, it's Tana's, we have to remember that it's Tana's retirement. It's not just Wrestle Kingdom. Like, it's an extra super mega.
That's a really good one night. I hadn't thought about Jon Moxley showing up in Japan.
It was just like, in my head has been doing it for like today, basically, where I was like, oh, it'll probably, and then I was like, wait, there's all these other things, and we have agreements, and Takeshita has contracts like all those places. So, and we know the Japanese fans, and even I think Tana and Mox have, I mean, they at least have to have mutual respect for each other as professionals. But I mean, Mox was awesome in his G1. He killed it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot of interesting theories.
I mean,
I never even considered him going to Japan, but and then not even Wrestle Kingdom. You've got New Year Dash the next day.
Yep.
Too. So there's also that because there's no.
I mean, he could just
there's no Wrestle Dynasty next year. So
yeah, because he could just needle Takeshita in Japan under the in the dome on the last time Tana's there. I mean, after getting beat, he's pissed because he's so mad that he flew across the ocean, across the world to have beef on Tana's last hurrah. I mean, you never know. It's just throwing that out there.
Yes. Nikki says real quick that the dogs were barking because apparently as we were on the show, a package from Mel arrived. So
I'm just glad it got there safely. But I don't know
I don't know what it is, but it has arrived. And so that's why
I was going to ask you too
because of that. And then we did have a neighbors coming up the street because it is warm, and they were talking to them. Brad is super late, but he's here. Welcome to Rob is in the chat. We've got Robert's in the chat. We've got some other people in the chat. Maria says that she thinks Fletcher wins.
Totally reasonable.
Robert thinks that Takeshita will win the Continental Classic. I also think that. Brad says that he'd love to see the leader of the Fletchlights get the win here and have to face his work wife in the final. Oh, see, that was my other theory, was that Kyle has to face his work wife in Takeshita. That's why I thought that was the other reason I thought they might do Kyle and Takeshita is Don Callis versus Don Callis family member. Does Takeshita leave tonight? Because he's clearly on his people are going to be leaving Don Callis family, which is why he constantly recruits, because he can just replace them. I mean, he can't really replace Takeshita or an Okada, maybe even a Kyle Fletcher. But
I think the Don Callis family is imploding right now because more than 120 people is just too many, and they've got like 475,000. So you're definitely having problems at this point. Yeah. But I do think that Don Callis is going to like move on to a new thing, like that. Not that I don't think he's going away necessarily, because he's still like he's a heel that people love to boo and all those things. But I think he's losing his grip a little. Yeah, maybe him and Mercedes will get together and have a total spiral.
Well, I'm here for that. Brad says Tony being able to book Takeshita as the first and now the only man to win the G1 and C2 in the same year is too much of a draw for him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
He tipped his hand in the media call, which is what we were. I think he probably came in right after we talked about that. But Tony said he pointed out in the media call that Takeshita would be the first person to win the
you're probably right.
G1 and the C2 in the same year. And I was like, I I already thought Takeshita was winning, but that solidified.
Oh no, Tony's a milestone guy.
He tipped his hand very obviously with that comment.
Yeah. Or unless he was trying to swerve us. I mean,
nah.
But
Tony's, I don't think he's swerved.
He's too much of a, I mean, let's be real, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but I mean this in the same way that I am a mark, is that Tony is too much of a mark to not do that. Mm-hmm. We just are. We are what we are. And he gets to book his own wrestling company. So
oh, and he talked about that on the call too. Talked about how he's been booking Dynamite. He said in the media call that he'd been booking Dynamite since he was in school, and he was booking it and just like in various places in the back, and he was doing it in college and NFL meetings. And then so Collision was new for him because because David Zaslav wanted more AEW programming, and that's how we got Collision. And so now we get 4 hours of wrestling programming per week. And half of that is Tony, and half of that's because WBD wanted it.
I've got to thank you for continuing to do your coverage of the media calls, because a lot of times I cannot be there at the time of the media call, but I can always pop on to Sam's timeline and read the media call, which I did this week because I was super duper busy. So for those of you who don't know that or don't catch that, Sam always tweets the media calls for the AEW pay-per-views, and she does a really good job. And I'm sure Nikki helps. sometimes, but Sam does it, and she does a great job. And it's
and then
really
I cross
super...
those. If you're no longer on Twitter, after it's over, I cross post everything to Blue Sky. Because there are quite a few wrestling fans who they're only on Blue Sky now, and so I want to make sure that
and I think that's a great distinction. That's why I usually leave up our Blue Skies, is that we're trying to support a different kind of social media platform as much as possible, but we do have a lot of you that follow us on the other. So I love that. I love that you do that, because I was able to catch up, because I really wanted to know what question you ended up asking. First of all,
I ended up, for the first time, so I've been doing AEW media calls since the beginning. I've been doing them since Cody was on those calls. It used to be Cody and not Tony Khan. It was you basically, I don't know how they pick who goes. I guess it's an order of arrival, and who you have to virtually raise your hand. I happened to get in there a few minutes early, because I always have a problem with the website that they use. It's always a hassle trying to get in there. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to just try to get in here a few minutes early. And I guess I ended up being the first person to raise my hand, because I got to ask the first question on the media call for the first time ever. And it happened to be my last media call representing Daily DDT, which was really, I was like, oh, look at that. I was like, it's my last call for them, and I get to ask the first question. I did ask about Andrade, because we found out a few hours prior that Andrade will be at Wrestle Kingdom. He is competing as part of United Empire. That obviously, New Japan is their partner. So I asked Tony what his opinion of him wrestling for New Japan. Does that mean we are getting a little bit closer to Andrade being free to work for AEW? Because 2 days prior to that, last Friday, he showed up in HOG Wrestling and attacked Charles Mason, which, by the way, Charles Mason that Sunday ended up working the ROH taping. So I don't know if that was a coincidence or because it was a Hammer sign that's where they did it. But and so I'd made the joke even before I asked the question. I had made the joke online that it's like finding out where Andrade can wrestle is like a wrestling advent calendar. Like you never know where this man's gonna show up. And then
he's in Hog. All right.
He's like, okay, we're going to Puerto Rico, and you get to win the title. The next week, Hog Wrestling.
Man.
So Tony just said that, he had great respect for Andrade. There's respect on both sides. There's interest on both sides. Stay tuned. And that was it. Then it comes out several hours after the media call. So I don't know when this information came about. I don't know if Tony had the information when I asked him the question, and he didn't want to give me the scoop, or if they were still working things out and didn't know until the news broke.
Right.
From Fightful. By the way, Sean Ross Sapp was on that call.
You're welcome, Sean.
But anyway,
maybe you should give Sam a job, Sean.
Andrade is now free to talk to AEW to sign something. I expect him to be. I don't know if he'll be on. That's what I've been trying to figure out. Does he find his way onto the card tonight? Not necessarily wrestling, but just returning to TV. But I don't know exactly where that would happen. Just looking at the card, where they would do that. I'm sure they could find a way. Or do they wait till after Wrestle Kingdom, let him do whatever he's doing with United Empire? Then when we come back to, when we have Dynamite following Wrestle Kingdom, is he going to be there? So Andrade sounds like he will be back on AEW programming.
Maybe they'll keep him for like Grand Slam or that new Maximum Carnage thing or whatever they're doing.
The Maximum Carnage thing is, I believe, like the January 15th. It's like 2 weeks. I think it's like mid-January.
Okay, I don't know.
So I guess it just depends on like what.
Yeah,
and I don't know like what his plans are for New Japan. Like,
right.
because he wasn't sure when he'd come back to AEW television, have they plugged him in? Will they be, will he be hanging out doing some stuff with United Empire for a couple of, I mean, obviously we've seen, like, we saw Megan Bain, who was flying back and forth between Japan and doing a tournament in Japan, and was also doing the women's tag team tournament. So will Andrade be flying back and forth between the two, or will he be spending more time in New Japan, then come to AEW sometime after that? So we shall see. But Andrade should be coming, may show up tonight somewhere. Maybe it's sometime after the new year. Crush a TK trying to red herring Sam sleuthing. He's on to you with that first question.
Yeah, I was just, that's when you said that, I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, he probably thought Sam had some like inside scoop or something. And
no, bruh. He got
and he did it when he was like, oh my god, she's on to me again. I was glad that he totally went.
My guy, he's wrestling for your partner. Seems like a good sign that he will be able to come back to you. I mean, at this point, like, it wouldn't surprise me if WWE was like, you can wrestle literally anywhere but there. I'll even let you wrestle in New Japan. And then I was like, was he going to wrestle in New Japan until he's allowed to come back to WWE? I mean, I'm sorry, AEW, but and then
I think you knew you were onto him again, Sam.
So,
and then he had to swerve some other journalists because they asked a question about the women's C2, and he was like, yeah, what a great idea. Look over here. And I was like, at least it wasn't Sam this time.
I appreciate when men also ask about
it was a guy, and I did appreciate that.
They don't leave it to me and the other women all the time.
No, it was totally cool because there were at least two people who asked, and I think they were both males, and I thought it was hilarious because it was like, Tony was like, yeah, girls are cool. Look over here. Like, at least we know he's gender neutral about it.
I guess so.
Oh man, I want like Sean Ross Sapp to be like, when are we having a women's main event? Just to freak Tony the fuck.
He was like, that's a great question, Sean. We will look into that and see if that's a possibility.
We love all of our women wrestlers. They're great, and they've been having a great time, and that's definitely something that's on. Nothing's not on the table.
Crash said question about women's C2 to TK. TK's response: WBD is a great
media partner. Exactly right. Exactly.
And they will be, since this question has been asked to Tony like 3 times in the last, like, he was asked on the final Battle media call, and then it was asked again. They are with Warner Brothers till 2027. Their programming is fine through at least 2027.
Well, even with all those mergers, there's a lot of moving parts. People just think it's like, oh, that person knows that person. I'm like, guys, that isn't even a thing.
I did see that John Alba did nearly almost a 2-hour interview with Tony for Sports Illustrated. And Sports Illustrated was playing that particular part of the interview. Yeah, because they talked about women's wrestling. I haven't had a chance to read the interview yet because I
read some excerpts just because it was talking about, like you said, where he was talking about the fact that he's making all the decisions now, and he's
which he's been saying. I mean, and I know John knows because he's on the call. Tony has been saying that all year because it keeps getting brought up on the media call. I can't tell you how many times, and then he's been asked it in other interviews, but Tony has been talking about that all year long. If you
mean Mercedes isn't making her own booking decisions?
No, she is not making. Yeah, I mean, except her. He makes all booking decisions except hers.
Of course, as you know, as logic would dictate.
What else we got?
We got another one. Hang on. Oh wait, let's go back to those things with the things here. Let me get my producer Gene thing. Oh, this was a good picture.
All right. Speaking of women's wrestling, we have AEW Women's World Champion Kris Statlander taking on former AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter. This should be a fun one. They both have a lot of chemistry. Both been around AEW for a really long time. We are getting kind of a babyface versus babyface situation here. But what are your thoughts on this one, and who do you think takes it?
I think Kris is going to retain her title here, but I do think it's going to be a really excellent match. And because Jamie needs to stay in the title picture, so I think that it needs to be a legitimately well fought. Maybe limit the shenanigans if there are any potential shenanigans to be had. I think let them have a singles match that's a good match that keeps Jamie in the discourse, and Kris keeps, because I feel like it's too soon for her to lose that title.
Yeah, it's way too soon for her. She's still trying to establish it, and as we've talked about a lot since Stat has won that title, is making this title. What is this title away from Timeless Toni Storm? Because she had it for such a long time. A lot of Mariah's reign was focused on where is Toni Storm. Toni Storm was still connected to that title while someone else was holding it. So I think obviously we're going to have to give them some time and some room here. But you have to see who this title is away from when Timeless Toni Storm does not have it. What can these women do with it? How can they elevate it in a way that's different than the way Timeless Toni Storm elevated it? And I think Kris Statlander needs some time. I think she's super over. She's still kind of trying to figure out character stuff, and I think she'll get there. Her promos are getting better. She's getting better on the mic. I think it'll come in time, but I would have Kris retain here. And like you said, Jamie should be not too far from the title picture.
And she needs legitimate. This is a legitimate opponent for her to beat. Jamie Hayter is. Everybody knows Jamie Hayter's no slouch. Like this is the kind of legitimate wins she needs to pick up that are going to make her a stronger champion in the end.
And then you've also got Tekla in the background, because Tekla has been, vying for Stat for a while. And she's not on this card tonight. Sisters of Sin are. Will she, she'll clearly, is she going to get involved? I'd like to see Kris win clean, but, Tekla is definitely a wild card. I do think that, Tekla has to be getting a title shot soon. Obviously, I don't know that they would wait until March to do that. Brad makes the point that possibly having her do it at Grand Slam, which is a huge show, they could do something there. Maybe they do a match at Grand Slam and then run it back at Revolution. They could potentially do that. Maybe Tekla wins at Grand Slam, like Brad said, suggested, and maybe Tekla's first title defense is at Revolution. But we've got, we have a little bit more time, but I think Stat leaves World's End as champion. And then we start getting, then maybe she sets her sights on. Maybe Tekla comes along and gets involved here. Fernando says Kris Statlander wins, but Jamie Hayter turns heel and attacks Kris post-match. That's definitely something that they could do.
Funny, I was just thinking maybe Tekla comes out and attacked her post-match.
Yeah.
After she won. So
Maria thinks that Jamie is going to win here. I did want to bring this up. Brad says, how selfish of Mercedes to book herself to lose a huge women's titles matches to people it could help instead of booking herself to win.
Yeah, I know. What's wrong with her? She's terrible.
And she didn't even book herself to become the first AEW women's tag team champion.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, I agree. 2025 has probably been the best. Yeah, Robert says it's been the best year of AEW since 2022.
Yeah, this has been a much better year, and I can tell from people that I know who kind of fell away who are back, and that's good. Not that they, don't dip in, but it hasn't been a must-see appointment thing for them, and they're coming back, and they are watching, and they are catching up, and watching these pay-per-views along, and so that's, I kind of, obviously I use my anecdotal sample size, but
right.
There are some of my friends that have been wrestling fans for a long time who it's like, if you lose them, that's whatever, but they're just not going to make the time for this. They're going to do other things. And they have been like, I'm watching right now. I'm like, yay. So that's a good sign. I like that. This has been a really, really good year. I think closing out with finishing strong with this C2 is going to be a big. I like the way they're doing it. It's very New Japan style, doing the tournament the way they did, and then doing the kind of semifinal and final on the same card deal. I love that. That's
right.
Awesome. All right. So yes, we agreed that Jamie. We believe that Jamie, or yeah, not Jamie. Excuse me, Kris. We think Kris.
Yes, that
All
will
right. All right. Let's just get this over with. Oh, we like one side of this, and
this match. Yeah. So we asked the question last week. Why did we do a dusty finish if we're not going to get a follow up at the pay-per-view? Are we getting one? Do you have FTR win clean here? Because if they are doing the theory of they're going to eventually lose these titles to Cope and Christian, who may or may not drop the titles to the Young Bucks, if that's a theory that's out there, then why, if we're waiting on Cope and Christian, then why would you do a dusty finish here other than FTR is the 80s babyface? I mean, the 80s tag team. Are we just doing it for that? I mentioned that I was hoping that they would do, like, clearly Bang Bang Gang is not on the popularity level of the Acclaimed. When they lost to Swerve in Our Glory, the fans were pissed. They ran the match back 2 weeks later. The Acclaimed won. Obviously, Bang Bang Gang is not at that level. They are super over, or they're getting over. It's progressing. I think they'll continue to get over. But I would like of course, would like for them to run it back and win it. We have, Bang Bang Gang was like, we had that match won. Like, we had you beat. And so let's do it in a Chicago street fight. Outside of AEW wrestling, if we were having a real Chicago street fight, I think the Bang Bang Gang would actually win. So what are your thoughts on this one, and what do you think happens?
I just, as much as I want Bang Bang Gang to win, I don't think they're going to. I mean, I want them to badly, but I feel like FTR is going to pull the same shenanigans, and that this is I don't think it's great for, yeah, I don't know. I think that I really think FTR is going to win this. I don't love it, but I think they are going to win.
My
hope I'm
heart
wrong.
Says Bang Bang Gang. I want it to be them so badly. But I don't trust Tony to do that here, especially if we are waiting on Cope and Christian, which seems to be the whole reason they won the titles in the first place.
I hate that they're using Bang Bang Gang as a placeholder for a pay-per-view match that Dax and Cash gets, because they always get one. But that's what it seems like.
I mean, I'm glad that Juice and
they're getting paid and they're on the pay-per-view.
They're getting a pay-per-view match. They will get time because FTR always gets time. So there's that.
We did have someone guess that maybe Jay White's coming back. I don't know if that injury is done.
Well, because of nobody seems to know exactly when Jay is supposed to be out. Yes, when he did tweet a couple of months ago, and Fightful quickly was like, Jay is not planned to return anytime soon. They could be sure that could be information to throw us off so that he shows up. Maybe something has happened in the last couple of months where he is cleared. But I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm ready for Jay. I'm so ready for Jay White to be back. And then Colton, we know we don't have a timetable for him. Foot injuries, as we talked about last week, foot injuries can be really difficult. Look at Nick Wayne. Look at Buddy Murphy. So I don't. Perhaps Colton. Maybe they're kind of keeping it quiet so that they could do a surprise return for Colton. Maybe it's a surprise return where both Colton and Jay return tonight. I would love that, but I don't know that. I haven't heard anything recently. The last I heard was Jay White was not anywhere near ready because, after, of course, he was out with the one injury, then it turns out he needed shoulder surgery too. So I don't know what his timetable is.
I mean, if he did come back, they should win. Because why would you bring him back and have them not win?
Right.
But
if they win, are you gonna freebird it and have various people? But Austin is the one who has been here. Austin is the one who earned that tag title should they win here tonight. So I don't know.
Yeah.
My heart says Bang Bang Gang, but I know better because Tony Khan is obsessed with FTR.
Yeah.
And if they're waiting on Cope and Christian, which I would bet Cope returns before Jay White, and I would not be surprised if Cope comes back tonight.
That would make sense.
Yes, that is my guess. Is that Cope?
Maybe they win and Cope comes back and starts some shit with them or something.
I could see that happening.
That's fair. I totally.
Brad says, putting the dislike of FTR aside, the match should be really, really good. These two teams have great chemistry, and Austin and Juice hours on a pay-per-view. Fernando says he thinks that Cope and Christian return and cost FTR the match and the titles. Ooh, that could be very interesting.
I'm into that.
Robert says Cope and Christian will destroy FTR. I am here for it. We have Jay White and Colton. Both will hopefully show up. I would also take that. Somebody answered Maria, but they Outrunners are mostly in ROH right now. Fernando thinks that Jay White is going to help the Bang Bang Gang, which I would also love.
I'm here for it, believe me.
He's putting out the positive vibes and really hoping Superfan Jusha and Bumper Liger is in attendance for these Chicago shows. Chicago shows just ain't the same without his timely photo bombs. Yeah, that dude that's dressed as Liger is always in some shot.
That guy's great. I love that. Love me some Liger. Anybody that's doing any tributes to Liger is okay with me.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, Maria has one. That Beth comes back and beats up Stokes.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's have that too. I'll take that.
I'm into that. That's pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah.
Sam's favorite match.
This match was shoehorned onto the card.
Sam, I gotta tell you what I'm calling this match for you. I'm calling this
break?
the AEW Speaking Out match.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean,
when I put the graphic up, all I could think of was
let me clarify. Gabe Kidd was not named in Speaking Out. Gabe Kidd, after Mariah May, who named his friend in Speaking Out, and he went on a podcast and trashed her because his friend got fired from WWE UK. And so I just want to make that clear. Make that clear distinction. As far as I know, Gabe Kidd has not been accused of anything. He was just a real asshole about
he did
Mariah
not
May.
support. He was not supporting the victims of Speaking Out in any way, shape, or form.
Because one of them was called out his
buddy,
best friend, and then he went and trashed her on a podcast.
Darby, however, was named as far correct
by at least two women.
Yeah, okay.
So
I couldn't help myself, and I was like, I got to say it.
So yeah, I just so if would this match be happening? So if Darby had not been injured and had to be taken out of the tournament, would we have done this match today? It doesn't make sense. I hated this. I hated putting this in. They had the story of Darby and Gabe falling back on the thing from a few months ago, so that's how they can get around having it. But it's forced onto this card. I do not care about this match whatsoever. For those of you who do, I hope it delivers. I hope you enjoy it. I do not give a shit about this match. I don't care about either one of them. This match was just thrown together and forced onto this card because if Darby Allin had been in the tournament, he very likely could have been in the semifinals. So it feels like this is sorry you got hurt in the tournament. Here's a pay-per-view match so that you get a pay-per-view paycheck. So which good for Tony, I guess. And Tony kept talking about, he's done it many, many times, but he was talking on the media call about how much he loves Darby Allin. I'm like, you keep saying that. Just, it's out there. We know. Just, yeah.
When I was putting the slideshow together too, and Bob can attest to this because I was really up to. I was just like, what? So we've got Hyann and My World and that match on the pre-show, but we've got this ridiculous match that makes zero. So I'm like, why is this? Who is this match? Literally, this was the moment I asked.
This match is for Tony Khan.
Match for.
It's for Tony Khan because he loves Darby Allin, and he probably because he wants to hire Gabe Kidd.
Well, Gabe Kidd's got to be a goodwill, like an olive branch or a goodwill gesture to New Japan, because that's where he's still working fundamentally, right?
Yeah.
Or is
he's still, he was in the World Tag League. He made it all the way. He made it to like the semifinals. He was with Tsuji, which
this is gonna be my go get a snack, go to the bathroom.
This is my fingers crossed. I don't have to end up being the one to cover this match.
Yeah,
because I'm helping out with pay-per-view coverage tonight, and I hope that fingers crossed.
Too.
The last time I got stuck on the FTR match, so fingers crossed. It does not. I don't get stuck on this one, but yeah, I don't care about this match. Darby is gonna win.
Yeah, probably. Just looking, I'm like, Darby's gonna win the match, right? I mean.
Yeah, Robert said it's weird that Kidd and Allen versus Allen is a regular rules match. Yeah, it is kind of weird. And then Crash says Darby is gonna fire Gabe off a balcony through a flaming table, and then Gabe will turn up for Wrestle Kingdom Multi-Man versus United Empire and Andrade in a matter of days, entirely unscathed. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be all about the spot. They are gonna create their.
Oh no, this is a spot fest right here.
Yeah, it's
not my match, not for me.
Match is for you. I hope
you enjoy
it. I hope it delivers for you.
Yep.
But I don't care about this match.
I'm gonna have to agree with Sam. This is a Mel and Sam DGAF match. Sorry.
Maria's gonna go with Gabe. She thinks Gabe is winning here.
Nice.
Good. Yay, we did get the cool graphic here. So
I did. Yeah, it was really cool.
The Babes of Wrath will be making their first title defense against Mercedes Moné and Athena. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think this match is going to be a banger because this is for excellent wrestlers and people that are working on it. I think that the Babes of Wrath obviously need to win this match because these belts need a run on the people that get them for the first time. Mm-hmm. Again, I think this is a great point where you're like getting two legitimate stars together and they're beating two legitimate stars. But I do think that it will create the beef that we've been looking for between Athena and Mercedes because they won't be able to coexist. Probably will be part of why they lose.
Yeah, I agree. This is, I would like, because I mentioned this on last week's show, Mercedes has not defended the TBS title on a pay-per-view since Wrestle Dream. We are going in, this is the third pay-per-view where that title has not been defended. However, she has been seen clutching that title when she's lost her other titles. I think this match is purely to set up Athena versus Mercedes for the TBS championship. I think we're starting a feud with them. I think that they're clearly going to lose this match. Babes of Wrath should obviously win. They should not lose in their first title defense. And then also they're going against, like you said, two of the very best women in all of pro wrestling. Athena is well over, she's over 3 years into her ROH title reign now. Mercedes is down to 10 titles. After losing to Alex Windsor. And I think that's going to mess with her the more she keeps losing. Could this be, I wonder if they're going to build Mercedes and Athena for Revolution. So that this is going to be a longer feud. They could do this at Maximum Carnage. They could do the match at Grand Slam. I personally would like them to have like a 3-month feud. Start building. They kind of already had one, but start building it tonight. And then you've got the payoff match is at Revolution. I hope that's what they do, but I think that's where we're going here. The whole, on the one hand, it is to establish these titles by having it against good women, but it also seems like it's more of a vehicle to get Mercedes and Athena to face off against one another. It should be a really great match, and because I think they may have gotten it anyway, but because Mercedes is in this match, Mercedes will make sure that it gets time. Hopefully we get 15 minutes.
That'd be great. That'd be a lot of fun.
What Mercedes typically gets. I would say at least 12. We're gonna at least get a double-digit match. So it'll be really good. I think it's going to be a really great match. And then I'd like to see, and so does this set up Sisters of Sin for, the next title defense, or are we going to get a different team? One thing that'll be interesting is if we see Ty J again, if they're just going to keep Anna off TV until she makes a decision. Her contract is up in the spring. She's reportedly listening to all offers. So is Tony going to keep her off TV until she makes that choice? Or will he, let her wrestle a little bit? Or is he just going to banish her to not on TV until she makes a decision, which might make her make another decision? So we shall see how that goes. Brad says the same thing, that Babes of Wrath should not lose this match. The reason we're getting this is Athena versus Mercedes. Maria says too soon for Babes of Wrath to lose. Fernando says who betrays who between Athena and, I think that was supposed to be,
it probably Mercedes. Was autocorrect.
I think it's possible Mercedes gets pinned. Because
ooh, I like it.
Harley could pin her.
And that would piss them both off.
Yeah.
But she could screw up and get pinned, and Athena would lose her effing mind.
Mercedes has taken 2 pins.
She's losing it. She's having her Brocata breakdown.
She is.
She is.
So I could see Harley.
She could do something stupid, get pinned, and piss Athena off. That's a good point.
So
I like it, Sam. I like this booking.
I think, yeah. Oh, Crash. I didn't even see this comment.
That's hilarious. Great minds.
Gets pinned and Athena blames her for the loss.
Great minds think alike.
Yes, I didn't even see that comment. Yeah, I think Harley.
So
I think it's Harley. I think Harley. But it could be Willow, because Willow got pinned in Manchester.
Yeah.
So Willow could get her lick back and could be the one.
Yeah, that's Brad says Harley pinned Athena.
Pinning her would be better. However, Willow got pinned in the match in Manchester. So Willow could get her pin back there. So
yeah, I think Brad agrees with you there. He's like, yeah, you're right. Either way, it's gonna piss Athena off. Because Mercedes isn't keeping.
So
she's like,
Harley pinned Athena the last time leading into the ROH title match. This time Mercedes should get pinned. Willow gets her revenge pin. Yes. Yeah. So regardless, I think we're all in agreement that
Mercedes is taking the pin and pissing off Athena.
Mercedes is booking herself to eat the pin.
Where?
And then
I've read a lot of books about people that book herself.
I mean, in a feud with Athena.
The Sheik and Antonio Inoki would not be impressed with her booking.
Neither would Hulk Hogan.
And if you get that joke, congratulations. Anywho, let's move on. This is going to be a fun match. I'm excited for them. I put this here. This was the placeholder one. That was the placeholder graphic I could find.
That was the placeholder graphic. I think we answered this one. Takeshita is winning the whole thing.
We did. We can almost kind of just scroll right through this because we answered it already. So yeah, Takeshita. All right. Any questions? No. The big show. Before
we get into this, the match part itself. I knew we would talk about it, but then I believe it was Crash who asked earlier on our thoughts on Hangman Page's promo. I didn't get to. So when this happened, it was funny because somebody tagged Paul, tagged a friend of the show. Paul tagged both Mel and I and said something about Hangman's promo. I was in the middle of eating dinner with my family, and I looked down and I was like, "What did Hangman say?" So I was like, "I can't wait to see what this is." But because I didn't get back from my Nana's until 2:00 in the morning,
you had to wait.
And then I had to cover Collision. I couldn't watch Dynamite until after, and so I avoided that promo on purpose until I could watch it in full. I didn't want to watch clips of it. I wanted to see it.
Yep.
Not live, but as I was watching.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm so glad that both Hangman and Swerve addressed it, because Swerve was the recipient of that comparison, and it doesn't surprise me that Hangman had things to say about it, and he had a lot of good things. And I feel like had there not been maybe some of the feedback and comments, that segment would not have gone down the way that it went down. I feel like maybe this was we have pissed off some people. We need to address it. Let's take care of it. Because maybe if he had not gotten, if people were not complaining online about bringing up a sex pest in that way and, reducing victims and things like of that nature, would Hangman have even said anything about what was said? I kind of feel like it was a response to what was happening online. Maybe Hangman just heard this promo because he had to stand in that ring and was like, absolutely not. We're not doing this. Regardless, whoever's choice it was, I'm glad that they addressed it. I think they addressed it. I think this was the way to address it, to have it come from someone like Hangman Page, but also for Swerve to also, we don't need to also compare MJF to a sex fest. Like, we need to stop comparing each other to sex fest. So that part I could have done without, but the fact of calling him a narcissist and saying that you are all of these, you are more dangerous than I am because you are these things. I thought it was handled really, really well. I appreciate Hangman and Swerve and whoever's decision was for that to happen. So I'm glad that it happened. What are your thoughts on that promo?
I loved it. I was a little behind because we didn't start quite on time, but we did start it, and it was funny because I didn't look at my phone until around the time I was like, oh, I'm about to watch it. I thought it was spectacular. Hangman is great. He's great. He's still. I love that he's standing up for people and what's right, and he's doing it. Doesn't come off as staged at all. Very, very really genuine. Heartfelt. And again, like you said, and Swerve doesn't usually, and maybe I don't know, but it was good to get the representation of everybody involved in it and see how they felt. And you're right, maybe they wouldn't have said something because of if there hadn't been backlash. But I think the backlash itself, even if it was a small thing, shows that we've all kind of gotten past that. And so it really needs to be pointed out and held to account when it's like, we don't need that clogging up our airways to the point where, and you're right. Like, whoever said yes or no or whatever. And I guess we're being told by Tony, if we are to believe this, that Tony said, gentlemen, go out there and respond to this in the way that you think is necessary with whatever caveats he may or may not have had. And
I like that they kept Samoa Joe in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I like that not that he shouldn't be involved in that, but I like that they... No,
but the confrontation was between the three people that were most directly involved in that being and MJF may have said that with permission. He may have said it without permission. We have no idea of knowing. Right. No one will ever tell us, but we don't know. And maybe he was sorry. Maybe he didn't think it through either. We don't know that maybe he just said it and wasn't thinking. And I know that MJF has a bad habit of saying that crap a lot. Right. So but I do think I'm glad, because usually you'd either hear who cares or we just dismiss it and move on with it or whatever else. But because of what they're doing with Hangman and Swerve, it fit with what Hangman and Swerve are, but it didn't feel gimmicky when they were calling him out for saying what he said, which he shouldn't have.
Right.
There's just... Yeah.
And Nikki even pointed out, like, our cousin, we actually had this conversation on Christmas Eve, that our cousin who doesn't watch wrestling, he did as a kid. And, he was we talked about John Cena's retirement and things like that. And so, but he even saw on TikTok what MJF
said. So it made its way to the media. it made its way into social media sphere that hard. Then that means that you're going to get people. Right. There's a whole contingent of folks out there that really, I'm not on TikTok, but I am fully aware of its influence on the greater social media market. And there's a reason why people that are on YouTube channels spend a lot of time doing TikToks, because that's how they get people to their YouTube channels.
Right. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I'm on TikTok, but not like
if
I'm
it's
not
making its
super
way
heavily
to somebody's.
into it. And so for someone to see it who does not follow wrestling content means it escaped the wrestling bubble. And maybe, and MJF is somebody like Hangman pointed out, like maybe casting directors and PR agencies need to see the things that you say in public. Yeah. And so this is a person who
Which is a big deal right now when you think about people's brands.
He's been in some bigger. He was in Happy Gilmore 2 this year. Like, and he left. Like, that's where he's been. He's been filming a movie. That's why he's been gone.
And there's major media deals going on right now. They're reorganizing the powers in charge of all of these things. And if you know you're going to get social media backlash for that kind of thing, that's terrible for your brand.
Right.
And that's all they care about in the end.
And maybe that's all he cares about. Maybe he doesn't really care about what he said and the things that it hurt. Maybe he's more worried about that. But regardless, I'm glad that it was addressed.
I like that it was addressed.
I'm also, and I even mentioned last, like, the promo, if he had left that out, the promo would have been fine. He could have left it at the stuff, the Shane Strickland stuff. He didn't have to. Clearly did not need to bring that part in for any reason. And I said last week, I said, I don't know if the point of this promo was for me to hope that MJF got his ass beat, but it worked if that's what it was for, and then we did have, Hangman had a chain around his neck and was choking him while Swerve was in his face being like, don't ever do that to me again, which I also am glad, because Swerve had to stand there and take it, all of that, and not really react to him. And so I'm glad that he was able to be like, don't ever compare me to a predator like that again. But so now that is out of the way, and I think this match also feels like, almost feels like Samoa Joe should not be in this match. Clearly he is, because he's the champion.
I know, it's weird.
But like, it feels like this should be a triple threat match, not a 4-way match. Like, he kind of sticks out. Like,
that's a really good point.
In the storyline, like, obviously Samoa Joe has history with MJF. We've talked about that before, because 2 years ago Samoa Joe is the one who beat him to become the champion. So obviously,
but that's a good point. This would have made more sense as a triple threat for a shot at Samoa Joe, as opposed to them fighting him for it.
Yeah, right.
That makes so much more sense now that you said it.
I know. I'm wondering if, because the contract deal that they were doing, where you have to give the 7 days notice, was a mistake. And I think they were just trying to get rid of it and get away from it as fast as they could. And hopefully they won't revisit that. Or if they do, they'll revisit it in a better way. But like, one company already does that. Like, you don't have to do it too. Like, if you're the alternative, you don't also have to have something like that.
Well, I think they needed to vex. I think they needed to get that. I think they needed to just exercise that demon finally and get it done, so that it's not out there in space, because us nerds are like, what about that contract?
Well, and that's the whole thing. Like, I thought that they were going to have, that's why I was surprised when Samoa Joe won the title. I thought MJF was coming back for Hangman. I thought he was cashing.
This means that Joe's going to lose tonight.
I'm leaning towards yes.
I don't know to who. It seems like MJF, which sucks. But
because why?
You wouldn't give it back to Hangman.
Why cash in that contract to then not win the title? I mean, it happens. Clearly, the other company has done it before. When you sometimes cash-ins don't work. So sure, but it feels like, why would you do that to MJF? Like, why would you pull him off? Not pull him off. He's clearly been off doing other projects. He comes back and immediately inserts himself into this picture. I mean, I guess if they're just wanting to get rid of that contract in general and just get rid of it and not have to deal with that lurking in the background anymore, then he just loses it. But my guess is, I mean, I don't know why you don't put MJF in this match if you're not going to have him win it. And again, he lost the title at Worlds End 2 years ago. And it feels like, so were they really giving Samoa Joe a another title because he's gonna be retiring soon. But then this was not a good title run.
Now, did Joe?
If that's what you were giving it to him for, then make it a good title run. They didn't do that.
Was it Joe that pinned him for it? Is that this, or had some? I can't remember.
No, I believe because I know that.
No, it wasn't Joe that won it, but he's like the only one that's like beat Max or something like that. That in some way,
yeah, it was
there's
something
like between them. I feel like
apparently, and then Swerve and MJF have never wrestled each other in AEW.
Interesting. Because I mean, I guess because logic would dictate, I guess at this point, is that MJF wins, and now he's feuding with Swerve and Hangman pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, and Nikki, I mean, you can work smarter and not harder. And Nikki said, Joe said, I'll just let them beat the crap out of each other and I'll capitalize on it, which certainly could happen. I wouldn't mind Joe. Like, if Joe is gonna beat Hangman, you need to make it worth it. Yeah. And this has not been worth it to me. And I love Samoa Joe, but this has not been it. I don't like what they've done with this. And if all of this was to get MJF as champion, then you could have had MJF come back and cash it in on Hangman and then had him beat Hangman tonight and let Hangman's run continue is what you could have done. And then you also have there's also, though, with Samoa Joe being the champion, you also have the ops to deal with. Do they ban? As far as I know, they've not been banned from ringside. Maybe they'll make that, that choice tonight. But you also now you have, and Hook is the reason Samoa Joe won that title. And so
maybe they come out and end up being the reason he loses it too.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Maybe maybe the ops come out in bad faith and end up being the reason he loses it too.
That's certainly possible. I mean, I think.
I mean, if MJF kind of fumbled his way back into the belt, that would be a much better story of him versus Hangman. And I'm not like over the moon about the idea here, but my brain is like kind of being like, I think MJF's going to win.
Yeah, I think I don't think you put MJF in this match if he's not going to win it. I mean, maybe they want Joe to take the pin, not Hangman or Swerve. Oh, that would be interesting.
Or to have, I mean, you know what I mean? Joe go down by his own mischief, comes back to bite him situation.
Perhaps. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with MJF here. I think MJF wins.
Yeah, I think I am too. I don't know exactly how it's gonna go down, but
yeah, I think
he's getting this. It just seems pretty.
And then
we talk about it, it just, I don't know.
And then you've got Ospreay coming back sometime earlier in the year. Revolution was his pay-per-view debut last year. I don't know.
Need him to wrestle with.
I don't know what Will's time frame is on returning, other than it's supposed to be in the early part of next year. So, do you have? And are they going to do MJF versus Ospreay at some point? Which seems logical.
My biggest problem with aside from the promo situation, which hopefully we can rectify that, but we'll see. TBD. His runs have notoriously been him holding the belt hostage and not wrestling and making people do silly shit.
Well, and he did say he alleged, as I pointed out last week, he alleged he was going to come back more dangerous. If you win this title,
I hope
wrestle.
Then wrestle.
That's how you can become more dangerous. Wrestle.
Because I don't want to see the 18 obstacles to get to freaking MJF
I don't
again.
need the 5. I don't need the 5 labors or whatever the hell they called it.
It was too much.
I don't need any of that. We already had Jon Moxley keep the title in a briefcase for 8 months. I don't need more bullshit shenanigans.
I'm obsessed with Marina still wearing that.
He's gonna have that. He's gonna have his triple B, and that's interesting because his whole point of getting with a Hurt Syndicate was to get his triple B back, and then he couldn't because he can't coexist with other people because he's too selfish and can't have friends. Yep. And so then he's going to fall into this by inserting himself into a title match that he has no business being in, and that would be on brand for MJF. And so we have some thoughts in the comments that Brad says MJF wins, sets up the title matchup against Bandito, and then MJF tricks Bandito into putting the ring on the line, and he gets his ring in the end. That sounds like some MJF bullshit to me.
That would be some MJF BS right there.
Fernando says that MJF must win the World Championship tonight. Crash says that a penny for Hook's thoughts. LMAO, what is the plan for him in all this? Just screw Hangman and be a forgotten squad member? No, I mean, I think they are doing this to build something with Hook. No, I don't think Hook is going to be in the title picture any more than Wheeler Yuta was in the title picture for Jon Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what Hook is here for. We can relax.
No, we're not there yet.
We're not in the title. And people have been freaking out about that. And I'm like, Wheeler Yuta came out with Jon Moxley all the time. You don't see him. He's not in the title picture. The same way with Hook. Let's all take a deep breath and relax.
Yeah, Hook will get there, but not today.
Yeah, I think it's just building him into whatever is next for him, because you've got to do something with Hook. And so
growing him, getting him his experience,
getting him more matches, getting him more character development would be great.
You don't want to overshoot that too soon.
Yeah. And I haven't had a chance to, I didn't watch the Jack Perry interview with Renee, and I've only seen bits and pieces of the quotes, but apparently Jack wanted Hook to come with him to Japan. Like, he wanted to go to Japan as a tag team. And then I don't know. I didn't read further, so I don't know I just saw that he wanted Hook to come with him. So I don't know if New Japan was like, no, or if AEW was like, nah, we're done with the tag team. With you two, we're not doing that. So I don't know. Or maybe Hook just didn't, I don't know. I didn't see the rest of the context. It just said, I just saw something that said he wanted Hook to come with him to Japan, and but that's clearly not what happened. Nikki says that she doesn't like the booking for this match. I don't either. Fernando says Hangman should have kept the title and booked Swerve versus Hangman and have MJF insert himself into the match. Joe seems out of place here. Crash says the slippery snake is primed here. He agrees that he hopes that MJF does not hold the title hostage here, and that it doesn't turn into a net negative for AEW's good run of the past month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I also, no more multiple title holders, please, which is kind of I love Bandito so much, but Bandito had 2 titles for a little bit. And I was like, please stop doing that.
Yeah, Sam's been on that bandwagon for a long time. She's actually driving that bandwagon from the last time.
So I don't need any more. I mean,
I know
it's different with Mercedes because of the story she's telling. I don't.
Well, that was a different story.
But having the champion wrestle other champions, I would like that to stop too. Like build up people. Talent.
Yeah.
Like, I know if they're a champion for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see them wrestling other champions. I need you to build up other people to be in the title picture. That's what I need you to do. But yeah. So I went back. Let me double check one more time. I checked a few minutes ago and no other 0-hour matches had been made other than the Eddie Kingston one we discussed. So let me refresh Twitter over here and see if Tony has been doing anything else. Has announced anything else. I'm sure we'll find out on let's see. Okay. They just the 4-way. Nope. No other 0 matches have been announced since the Eddie Zach Gibson was announced prior to the show. So as of right now at 3 p.m., there are just 2 0-hour matches, but we all know Tony Khan better than that. So
but be surprised. Don't be surprised if there's a surprise, because he's a surprising guy.
He will probably announce one more, and then during 0 hour itself, I mean a random fourth one will go on. It'll probably be like the premier athletes, or his new favorite seems to be the frat house. I hate that gimmick with a passion.
It's never been.
They'll be on there, something like that. Crash says, looking at the news, Vic Venom and Seth Rollins throwing an insignificant strap over each other on social media is peak sports entertainment. Let me tell you about some peak sports entertainment. they had a very sports entertainment match last night. And there was somebody on live coverage.
SmackDown was last night because it's Saturday, not Sunday.
So I was on SmackDown coverage last night. There was 3 people. It was one of my editors, somebody on live coverage who's learning how to do live coverage. This is like her second or third show. She's learning how to do live coverage, and then me. So I got put on like 3 or 4 articles last night. So I got stuck on the opener. So Joe Hendry made his SmackDown debut last night, and it was the most sports entertainment. Like, it fits. Like, I hated it because it's not for me, but also it's completely on brand for Joe Hendry and the type of things that he does. So, like, I couldn't hate on it too much, and he did what he could with what he was given, but it was just, he started out singing a song about Miz having small balls. Even though, if I unfortunately remember correctly, there was a big thing about Miz having giant balls a few years ago. So apparently they have shrunk in. They had Otis was in a Santa suit.
Sorry, you said it so matter of fact.
I mean, that's the only thing I come.
Apparently they have shrunk it.
Apparently they
like
have
a proper journalist, Sam reports the facts.
So
it's just perfect.
So Miz says that now that John Cena has retired, he's the locker room leader.
Oh, okay, we're doing that.
He will not stand for this. Don't make fun of him. It's not fair. So then they have a Miracle on 34th Street fight, which is something they've been doing. They had cookies. There was Miz opened a package because he was going to use it as a weapon, and it was 2 small blue ornament balls. Because we have to get the innuendo in here.
Yeah, totally, of course.
Yeah, so it was they had Otis and Tozawa. So Otis was dressed as Santa, Tozawa was in an elf uniform. The Easter Bunny was there. It was the Rosebud, because I was like, that's a Rosebud bunny outfit. It was, because Corey mentioned it. Turns out it was R-Truth, and they all attacked the Miz, and then Joe Hendry won his first match on SmackDown.
So glad you're getting paid.
But thankfully, the wrestling gods knew I was going to have to watch that, and they gave me, I already knew what was happening because this was pre-filmed, so I already knew last week that Carmelo Hayes had defeated Ilya for the U.S. Championship, and that match was a banger. And thank God, I'm so glad.
A wrestling match!
No, that's the one thing I've liked about having Ilya, is because Ilya does not fit the WWE mold. He actually likes to wrestle and beat the crap out of people. So I've enjoyed his title reign. And then he and Carmelo beat the crap out of each other. And I hope that Carmelo can continue they've been doing open challenges for this title, because Sami Zayn brought back the open challenges when he was the champion. So thankfully, I'm sorry that I had to see it too, but thankfully I was rewarded with.
She is not doing this for free,
I was at
folks.
least rewarded with Carmelo and Ilya.
Sam's a champ. Okay, she's doing the hustle like the rest of us, right? We all gotta get paid. So I love it,
Nikki. Yes. Well, we were watching a clip.
I'm glad you're there for. I'm glad that you have Nikki for moral support during these difficult, trying times.
The latter is a reference to Brody Lee, because it's a clip of we were watching. People were putting clips, and it was a BTE clip, and he told John Silver, he said, "Shut the fuck up, first of all." And so Nikki's like, "I'm going to bring that back." So I appreciate that. Do we think there's going to be any 0-hour surprises? Yes, Brad mentioned it, and I agree. I think Ortiz is going to be on there and help.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Because Ortiz came back he came back a couple of weeks ago in, I believe it was a dark match, not ROH. And he, then the other day he said he was fed up with the way GYB were acting. So I agree with Brad that we're probably going to get Ortiz here, which is good. I'm glad to see Ortiz. I enjoy him. Yeah. Brad also says that he should add an 8-man tag team with the remaining C2 participants like he did a couple of years ago. Well, Claudio is in the mixed nuts match, but he still has the other participants that he could do that
That's not a bad idea. I don't mind that. That'd be a
Maybe
fun
he's going to
rainbow.
put Pac in that since he fears Tony Storm
you
and
go.
didn't want to be in the mixed nuts mayhem match. Yeah, I was on live coverage. I unfortunately had to, well, at least for the, as far as the, no, I saw everything. I had to, because I had to write my preview. I couldn't write the preview without reading the spoilers because I had to put like, especially because some of them wrestled the night before. So I had to say like, you know, obviously we were going into a 6-way tie. So I had to put that. I had to put in. So no, unfortunately, I made it as long as I could. And then I read the spoilers. Had I not been on live coverage, I would have been fine. But no, I had to go look. Yes, he said it to Griff Garrison while they were confusing him with Jungle Boy. That's when he told John Silver, first of all, shut the fuck up, first of all.
That's right. So
Brad says Tony and Claudio need to have a face off in that match and give me Marina and Roddy going at it.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. And we said that because in the original graphic, Pac was in it. And so my theory is that Pac fears Timeless Tony and is making Claudio wrestle in his place. And as Robert said, yes, I meant to bring this up during the Swerve match and then we got sidetracked. Robert has said that if Swerve doesn't win, he'll shave his beard. Pictures or it didn't happen.
What Sam said.
You can @ us at Powerbombshells on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky. And show us.
We are at Powerbombshells on most of the socials.
Before we go, I do have to, because I unfortunately had to subject you to the Joe Hendry stuff. What do you think is going to be the sleeper match of the pay-per-view?
I'm going to give it to the women's tag match.
Good choice.
I think that will be much better than people expect. I think that those women are going to go after it. That's 4 ladies that really want to show their stuff. And I think that's going to be that's shaping up on paper to be one of the best, most fun matches of the night.
I think I agree with you because obviously the semifinals are going to be bangers.
Yep.
The final of the tournament is going to be a banger.
I think the street fight's going to be a street fight and they're going to do the things they're going to do. So it's not going to be that, you know.
I think the street fight will be fun, but I think it's going to be what people expect.
I think Harley Harley and Willow are building themselves up. They're doing things. So they're trying to, and
you know what? I think I'm gonna agree with you. I think that's gonna be the sleeper. I think that's the one. And then I think we are probably gonna say the same thing. But what do you think is gonna be your match of the night?
While that Okada Takeshita match is going to be the match of the night, I think the final is going to be the match of the night, no matter who it ends. I mean, it's going to be like, especially if Takeshita is in the final after wrestling, and he is notorious for wrestling multiple banger matches in a day. So it's going to be very, very close between his match with Okada, which will just, like you said, where this is going to be like a late in for the, because I mean, this is it's the 27th. It's going to make it in as a match of the year more than likely just by a few days. But I don't know how that match doesn't rock. It's on a pay-per-view.
I think the final will be it was going to be very, very good, especially depending on who the final 2 are. But I think Okada versus Takeshita is going to be the match of the night. It's the one that people have been waiting for months. And Okada is coming out of an incredible C2. So is Takeshita. Takeshita's entire body of work this year. He has been all year long. He and Bandito have been neck and neck for my wrestler of the year. So I expect that. I expect big things for that. As I said earlier, I'm gonna put my expectations. I'm gonna put high expectations on that match because I expect it to deliver. I expect to open my phone and pull out and update my notes for my match of the year by putting them on there.
I'm almost gonna write it in there now, and then if I have,
I might as well just put it in there now because I already know
that would be weird. But this is a good. I mean, we say this all the time, and I sit down and put these things together, and I'm like, it's another great card. He's really Does
I mean, Fernando is going out here with the bold prediction that this is going to be the pay-per-view of the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, maybe it will. Maybe they'll deliver. I mean, we'll talk about. Never mind. I was going to tell you. We'll talk about it when we do. When we get around to doing our best.
We are going to do our best stuff after everyone else because we wizard time everything. So
right.
You can just. We're on brand.
Right. It is on brand. So we will get to
and
it.
I believe, are they doing a post show this evening? I can't remember. Stay tuned. Just
turn on your notifications.
Just
follow Power Bombshells on social media because I am not positive.
I can't remember if someone said they were or if they were going to do a wrap-up show about it.
I don't remember if they're going to do one.
The best way to know is obviously to subscribe to our, YouTubes, which helps us just in general and helps all our friends on all the different shows like the Dynamite show and the Wrap and all our pals who are
because
the
Dynamite show went live last night, and they also, I think,
they did a preview. That's what it is. That might have been what I was thinking about.
Fernando says that we should do the post show.
Yeah,
so I will be on Wrestling Inc. coverage, and sometimes
Sam has shoot job problems in the evening, and Mel has shoot job problems. Oh no, wait, tomorrow's Sunday. Oh yay!
We're gonna let Mel rest.
Oh, you guys, let me tell you, open enrollment. You don't need to hear about it.
Crash. Okay. I do want to go, Brad. I will come back to your sad comment in a minute. But I'm going to go to Crash first. Because he said the success of the C2 speaks volumes here. Also speaks volumes too about the world title picture at the minute. Seems a little cold in comparison to almost everything else. Maybe a little harsh with the C2 elevated itself on pure bangers and god tier booking. I don't think you're wrong.
Can't argue.
I don't think
no lies detected. I think they need to do more of it.
He said there will be dreaming of a Cocoa Pops, or Crash will be dreaming of Cocoa Pops by that time, unfortunately, during the post show.
Yes.
Fernando said that they did do a pre-show last night on the Dynamite show.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Because of the holidays, they weren't live on Wednesday, and so they went live last night. You can also watch that replay here. Brad says that Mox versus Fletcher should be a big sleeper. We know it'll be great, but their styles are so different that I think they'll be in for something really special. We're in for something really special there. That's an excellent point.
It's very true.
Very good. And then we're gonna bring up this sad comment from Brad because he wants to be a Debbie Downer. This says not to bring us down, but we are officially 8 days away from the end of the Ace's career. We're in single digits of having Tanahashi as an active pro wrestler, and he is not okay.
Oh, I feel you. I got a picture of him in the back here. He's the best. He's gonna have a great Wrestle Kingdom, and we were all lucky to have lived in the era of the Ace of the Universe. And I don't think he's going to disappear from New Japan anyway. I mean, he'll be around.
So he'll be there.
He'll be the prez. He'll be the thing. But I'm with you. And I think we've all largely agreed that get your tissues ready on the 4th because, oof.
Well, and you know what? I'm going to use this time to plug myself because I did a show with Dr. Larry over on The Prescription. I did myself and Rachel, and I believe their podcast is Kick Out Sports 2.99, and I'm so sorry if I got that wrong.
We'll put it on our socials.
We talk. I will repost it because it got posted late. It got posted last night, and I didn't see it until late last night. But we talked a little bit about the Tokyo Sports Awards. They talked a little bit about Wrestle Queendom. I stuck around. I was able to do the Wrestle Kingdom preview. And then I had to go because I overbooked myself on Monday. And so I believe that they talked about New Year Dash, and I believe that they may have covered maybe the Noah show, possibly. I think it was another show that's happening because Japan likes to put all their big shows at the first week of the year.
They put them in the beginning.
So I think that they posted those, but I will be reposting those so that you can find them. I'll repost them on both Blue Sky and on Twitter, and I'll probably post it a couple times throughout the week as we get closer to Wrestle Kingdom, so that hopefully you'll have time to check that out.
And for those of you folks that are in the Discord, Dr. Larry and many of our other good friends out there in the podcasting sphere also post their stuff in our, we have in other wrestling pods where folks like Dr. Larry and Tom and folks like we post things like that. So it's, you know, you can also find it there. But yeah, we'll put it on our socials. Lots of love to those folks. Really great. I mean, before we obviously this is the end of the year because we will see you guys in 2026 at this point.
We have everybody. Yeah, we have some people in the replies telling us, wishing us and each other a happy new year, which is great. We're glad that you guys have found a community here amongst all of us, which is great. And so we wish you also a very happy and healthy new year and the rest of this year and into the new year. Hope you all have a happy and healthy and complete opposite, depending on how your 2025 was, complete opposite in 2026. And we will be here. We are going to be hitting a couple of big milestones next year. We're closing in on 200 episodes. And we are also about to go into, this will be our 4-year anniversary this year.
Yeah, and our birthday's coming up in February.
Yeah, in February we have that too. So we'll be having both of those really big milestones with
See, we have big milestones at the beginning of the wrestling year too, because we started at Revolution. Our Revolution starts our whole year too. Wow.
Yes, that was the first. Revolution was the first thing that Mel and I covered as a podcast. If you were watching way back then, thank you for sticking around this long. If you just found us today, we're glad that you did. We hope you come back. We're generally on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern time on pay-per-view, on AEW pay-per-view days. We do our pre-show, whatever day that is.
Day they are.
But thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the support this year. We truly, truly appreciate it. And we really look forward to seeing you next year and continuing to talk about wrestling and hoping that AEW in particular stays on the course that they've been on and continues delivering great shows, and also New Japan and whatever wrestling you watch. Hope it makes you happy and brings you joy.
Watch what you like, enjoy what you like, be nice to people. And seriously, you guys, can't tell you enough how much awesome you guys all are. It's really awesome. Sam's awesome. You guys are awesome. It's a lot of fun to be a part of this group.
And also, we say it on the shows, but even if you are not active in our chat, but you are checking us out, we appreciate you just as much.
Very much.
You don't have to be in the chat for us to to receive our appreciation. We truly appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen. And our shows are long, so any amount of time that you pop in to listen to us, we really appreciate that, and hope that you all have a really great New Year's Eve and day, and come back in the new year and we'll talk about wrestling some more, because that's what we do here.
That's what we are. Just two bros right there on the same. Okay, you guys, Happy New Year.